Hello everyone, welcome back for another Star Trek, the official Starships collection review. In front of me here is the special web-only exclusive, the USS Aventine or Aventine, depending on your choice of language, I suppose. And of course, you see the magazine here and the model. So this I'll put aside for a moment and let's have a look at the magazine. So first thing you notice is there is an it's a nice image of the ship on the cover there. It just simply says USS Aventine, and of course, a little information. It is considered Vesta class with a crew complement of 672 meters long, and has a quantum slipstream drive as its, I guess, primary source of propulsion. And interestingly enough, looking at the cover here, the nacelles almost look J.J. Abrams in nature. Interesting. So, you turn the page, and the magazine format follows the same as all of the other issues. It is considered a multi-mission explorer. Again, Vesta class, crew complement 750, and the top speed is warp 9.999999999 plus. It has type 12 phaser cannons, torpedo launchers, and the captain's is Dexar, and of course Esri Dax. You turn the page, and you have a neat little rendering of the image, neat rendering of the ship there, as well as some text about the ship, as well as a picture of Esri Dax here. And here's the centerfold, showing you where everything is, where all the components are, etc., etc., etc. And here's the section on the design process of the Aventine. For those of you that don't know this ship was never seen on screen in any incarnation of Star Trek, nor was it ever even mentioned or referenced. This was a ship that was created for the magazine, for the book series Typhon Pact that you see here. Basically, this is years after the end of the Dominion War and Voyager's return from the Delta Quadrant, etc. And of course, Esri has been promoted to captain between that time, and the Aventine has quantum slipstream drive, and etc., 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 etc. So here's a little section on that, and more on that, including the conceptual artwork. And I believe this was one of the first designs before they chose the design they ultimately did, and more on that. And here's a section on the imaging process of the Aventine, which is kind of a neat read. And there's a cameo by the Dauntless, which also had a quantum slipstream drive, which I believe was the first episode, the first appearance of the slipstream drive itself. Hope and Fear, I believe it was. And turn the page, and more about that story by David Mack. And of course the ship itself. And there's Esri right there, and you'll notice the NX-02 Columbia crashed on some random surface in the Gamma Quadrant. Again, none of this has ever happened on screen in any episode or movie. This is considered a non-canon ship, and all of this stuff happened in the novels, so we've never actually seen this in action. Unfortunately, it would have been great if we did, but alas, it didn't happen that way. And finally, the last page, which talks about the novels, and of course I believe this is the trilogy of the Typhon Pact in which the Aventine is introduced. And of course you have an ad here for all of the ships in the collection, which I believe I have all of these. And so yeah, and turning the page, on the end you have the ship of the Aventine on the back there. So that is the magazine, and now let's get to the ship itself. Alright, here it is. It's in the little box. At first glance, it looks a little small, but let's get it out. Get these stands out. Alright, and my first impression is this thing is kind of small. The ship itself, though, is actually pretty cool. There's a major blunder here on the deflector dish. There just doesn't appear to be anything. It's painted on. I know some colleagues and friends of mine overseas, etc., have created their own decals to paste in there, which might actually be a good idea. This is a nice model considering it's never been on screen before. Clearly Federation, but very different. Yeah, it's a rather nice model. I like it. The only drawback would be, again, that deflector dish kind of bugs me. And looking up closely, you can see the USS Aventine there and the registry number. Got your phaser stripping here. You got more Starship or USS Aventine, United Federation of Planets, and you got the red for the Blizzard Ran scoops there. And I believe the nacelle portion is painted, but that's okay because it's red for the Ran scoops, which is always good. And the back there, you can kind of barely see the shuttle bay, but it's nice that it's there. It's represented. The paint application on this is pretty good. No serious or obvious flaws there. More importantly, my model arrived intact. My nacelles weren't broken off or anything like that. Again, you can see the registration on the top of the saucer section, USS Aventine, and there it is again, USS Aventine. And this is a pretty awesome looking ship. I'm glad that we got it in the collection. I think this is another one of the petition ships that we had to sign for. And finally, alas, it happened. Overall, it's a nice model, a very interesting futuristic design. The primary portion is metal. I believe the top section is plastic, and the underside of the saucer is metal. And of course, the nacelles themselves and the struts are all plastic. But it's a pretty solid model. If you enjoy those books, I would definitely pick this ship up. You know, this is probably the first real quote-unquote Federation ship in the collection, other than the Dauntless, because that doesn't count. It's an alien ship. But this is the first, technically, first Federation ship that has the quantum slipstream drive, so that's kind of cool. I'm guessing this thing would be massive if it was on screen, probably much bigger than the Enterprise E. But it's from the same time, so it's very much in design and in vogue with the rest of the Starfleet at the time. Aside from the deflector being a major disappointment, this model is very, very good. So I would definitely go out there and pick this up. This is only available on the Egomos online shop for those of you that are interested. It is not available through the regular subscription. This is kind of one of those outside things. So, and of course, it comes with the stand here. So let me get that out. And it simply says USS Aventine with the NCC-86202 and a part number, which I don't know if that means anything at all. And so this stand goes into place just like that, and the ship itself kind of just goes in place like that. Let me cheat. Let's look at the magazine. The magazine says it goes in the back of the pylons there. So I don't think that's gonna work. Ah, there we are. And there it is, USS Aventine. So yeah, that is the USS Aventine. Definitely pick that model up if you enjoyed the Typhon pack models. And I look forward to sharing with you my thoughts on the USS Titan, which I also have. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments about the ship, please feel free to ask me down in the comments section. Personally, I have not read those novels, so I can't tell you much about the story other than what I've already read online about it. But I'll be happy to research it if you have any questions. So yeah, as usual, thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe to see any other videos of the collection that I've done. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and live long and prosper.